Hello. Welcome to the weekly Top 10 news brought to you by Solarika, the world's first online community dedicated to solar energy. Overcapacity, weak demand and uncompetitive production have forced around 90% of polysilicon producers in China to suspend production, according to news reports in China. Only a handful of producers continue to operate plants but at low utilization rates. GCL Poly, Derco and EnergySocialNetwork.com were known to have continued production despite spot market prices at or below production cost levels. Chinese polysilicon producers were said to also have been impacted by a rise in imported polysilicon from the major producers in Europe and the US. Reports cited that imported polysilicon had increased 26% since the beginning of the year, while ASPs were approximately 61% down from a year ago. On December 13, Panasonic Corporation, based in Osaka, Japan, began manufacturing its solar photovoltaic cells and modules at its new facility in the state of Kedah, Malaysia. The new factory in Kulim High-Tech Park will be Panasonic's first fully integrated facility, producing silicon wafers, PV cells and modules, and will have an annual production capacity of 300 megawatts. The plant employs approximately 1,500 workers and will produce PV modules primarily for the Japanese market. Panasonic currently produces its PV cells at 2 plants in Japan, which it assembles into modules at 2 plants in Japan and 1 in Hungary. These total 600 megawatts of production, and the new facility will boost output 50% to 900 megawatts. Lux Research Incorporated has released a new report which predicts that solar photovoltaic module production costs will fall to as low as 48 cents per watt in 2017. Its report, titled Module Cost Structure Update, Path to Profitability, notes that module prices have fallen sharply over the last 4 years to a low of 70 cents per watt, but that production costs have not fallen as much. The report concludes that manufacturers must and can drive production costs lower. Britain is set to build its largest PV plant, with 125,000 PV panels worth $55 million, at an old military airfield. The airfield in Leicestershire, called Wymeswold, got the go-ahead from the local council, with project planning handed to Lark Energy, a unit of the home builder Lark Fleet Limited. The company began construction of the plant at the end of November, and has plans to complete it before April when subsidies are reduced for large-scale solar projects. Once finished, the 32-megawatt solar plant will have the 125,000 solar panels installed between the runways at the airfield's 150 acres of land. The project will be financed by Hazel Capital and will cover the equivalent of 87 football fields, with 6 times more capacity than any UK solar plant currently in operation. US self-storage company Extra Space Storage is midway through a program to install 10 megawatts of solar panels on 103 of its more than 850 facilities across the country. Some 45 units have had solar panels fitted already, with another 58 in the pipeline for 2013. New Jersey-based First Light Energy won the contract to install and integrate the systems, which will be fitted with inverters supplied by US manufacturer Solarika Renewables. On behalf of the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, KfW Entwicklungsbank, has signed a €10 million, $13 million, loan guarantee with Brazil's Companhia de Minas Gerais for the Solar World Cup 2014 project. The project will see the Mineiro and Mineração stadiums, located in Belo Horizonte, outfitted with rooftop photovoltaic systems, which hold a combined capacity of 2.6 megawatts. Electricity produced by the project will be fed into the grid so that Brazilian consumers can benefit from the solar electricity. According to new research by Frost & Sullivan, the Asian Pacific solar market will reap revenues worth $11.1 billion in 2016. Meanwhile, photovoltaics is said to be the leading technology in the region. In its new report, Solar power markets in Asia Pacific. Frost and Sullivan states that solar revenues in the region will rise from over $7.6 billion in 2011 to more than $11.11 billion by 2016. In addition to falling photovoltaic prices, favorable government policies and incentives are said to have boosted large-scale investments in solar projects, particularly in Thailand, Indonesia, Japan, the Philippines and Malaysia. On December 11, China's Ministry of Commerce announced that it will allocate $1.1 billion to support a new round of solar photovoltaic projects under the nation's Golden Sun program. This is in addition to $960 million that the government allocated to projects in the first half of 2012. Dozens of companies have been identified to develop 2.83 gigawatts of projects in 33 provinces under this new round, with Yingli Green Energy Holding Company, Beijing, China, taking the largest share at 288 megawatts of projects in multiple provinces. A report recently released by the Solar Industry Association, U.S. Solar Market Insight, third quarter 2012, finds that the total U.S. photovoltaics industry installed 684 megawatts from July through September, representing 44% growth over the same period last year. This quarter marked the third largest leap in capacity on record for the U.S. PV industry and raised the total installed capacity through the first 3 quarters of the year to 1.99 gigawatts, already surpassing 2011's annual total of 1.88 gigawatts. National grid operator Terna has released figures for Italian electricity production and demand for November 2012, reporting that solar photovoltaic power production fell to 3.2% of demand during the month. Italian PV plants produced 831 gigawatt-hour of electricity, a 3.7% increase over November 2011. In the first 11 months of 2012, PV supplied 17.6 terawatt-hour, a 76% increase over the prior year, meeting 5.9% of country's electricity demand.